Hey,
Hi.
what
Hello.
up?
How's it going? Welcome to another episode of Hipster and Homeboy.
Yes,
We have some more whiskey here. We have a 40 is it 46 years age?
I think it's number 46.
Number 46.
That's what the NO means.
Oh, I thought it was like
Number
no
four-
46.
no,
Okay.
number 46. This is French. It doesn't matter. We're going to
doesn't.
enjoy it.
We're gonna
because
enjoy
it's
some.
Another one of our favorites.
I love Makers.
Yeah.
Makers is, if you put that in the freezer and leave it for a while and don't open it, when you try to do that, it'll just fly out because
It's
keep
brittle?
I keep forgetting how brittle it is.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Oh man,
Oh no.
having trouble. I was trying to do it nice, but now I can.
So while Phil's doing that, I'm just going to ask how everyone's doing. We are now finally in February. January took 3 years to end,
Yeah.
and now we're in February. Valentine's Day is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Phil, where are you taking me for Valentine's Day? That's what I want to know. It's trying to get me drunk over here.
I'm not taking you anywhere for Valentine's Day because I have a fiance.
Right. I keep forgetting you have a fiance. She gets all this stuff. You know what?
Yeah.
Fine. We might get Biggie this weekend, so I'm pretty happy about that. This coming weekend, right? This is
This coming weekend.
this is the Super Bowl.
It is the Super Bowl.
It's the Super Bowl.
Who's playing besides Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar is playing. That's really it. And Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is playing?
I don't know if she's going to be there.
Is Kelsey?
Travis Kelsey is the one that's dating her.
I know. Is he playing?
Yeah, he plays for the Chiefs. So it's the Chiefs and the Eagles. Go Eagles, fly.
Okay.
Have you been following football at all? Okay, so I don't really follow football a ton,
not a bit.
but I watched the Bills versus Chiefs game, which was going to clinch the AFC to see who played in the Super Bowl.
Clinch.
And there's a big thing going on right now that a lot of people are starting to feel that the NFL is completely rigged, like completely rigged.
I don't know about rigged, but I think there's a scripted component that there might be some validity to that belief.
Well, if you talk to people like Patrick, who will be on the show next week,
we'll talk about him next week.
Yeah, but the Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback for the Chiefs, and you know what a flag is, right? Like
Yes, I played football for 10 years. I just don't watch it anymore.
Okay, got it. So generally, the flags getting called for anything to do with Patrick Mahomes are just like completely obscure and just weird. Like he's already off the sidelines and someone might do this and they'll get it flagged, but then on the other team they'll tackle the quarterback, which I think nowadays you're not really supposed to tackle the quarterback.
Roughing the passer, yeah.
Yeah, and they're just letting them get away with a lot of things. A lot of people are predicting that the Chiefs are going to win again, and then Travis Kelsey is going to propose to Kendrick Lamar, to Taylor Swift.
Oh, people don't say we're going to Disneyland anymore?
No, they propose now to celebrities, and all they care about, everybody's so pissed because all they do is show Taylor Swift constantly. Like one of the guys on another team is married to Simone Biles, and
Yes.
she is an Olympic gold medal athlete,
Yeah, she's like the most decorated Olympic athlete.
and she goes to a lot of games and they never show her. But Taylor Swift goes to a couple of games and they give her all the screen time. These are nice glasses. They're not as dirty as the other ones.
There are so many. I mean, that's a loaded. I don't know if you're ready for how loaded that conversation is.
What, the glasses?
No, the Simone Biles versus Taylor Swift. I think.
Is there something deeper that I don't know about?
No, but I mean, the argument or the conspiracies can be made around whether or not there's a racial component. There's conspiracies that can be made around whether or not Taylor Swift is just more famous than Simone Biles, and then also Simone Biles' husband is not as famous as Travis Kelsey is. Which I think Travis Kelsey's fame is like compounded by the fact that he's married not married, dating Taylor Swift. And then on top of that, his brother is also a former football player. They're both really they're of the moment right now.
Yes.
They got the cereal, which is like
they are everywhere. They're all over TV, every ad. It would have been cool if they would have played each other in the Super Bowl, brother versus brother.
Yeah. So the cereal makes me think of two things. For me, I saw that and I was like, this is definitely the white privilege cereal.
Uh-huh.
The reason I say that is because it's a mixture of a bunch of cereals, right?
Which cereal is it?
It's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Reese's Puffs, and something else.
That's a cereal? They make that?
Yeah.
They make like a combination cereal.
Yeah, it's
now?
called the Kelsey Brothers box.
I had no idea that
Yeah,
even existed.
yeah.
That's like mixing all. Like, do you ever go to like McDonald's and mix all the sodas?
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like to me.
So the reason I said that's like the white privilege cereal is because like, when you grow up poor, I know a lot of kids that grew up poor that the rule was you can't have more than one box of cereal open at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you have the capacity to just mix all your favorite cereals in a bowl, experimenting, possibly not liking them and throwing the whole bowl out,
Yeah.
there's privilege there.
That
Like
was
there's a
absolutely.
strong argument to be made that there's privilege there.
Well, was your family household a cereal household or like okay? So in your cereal
Cornflakes.
arsenal, cornflakes. But was it Was it
It was-
Kellogg's cornflakes or was it store bought?
It was whatever was on sale
Gotcha. Okay.
for a long time, and it was like you don't get Frosted Flakes, you get cornflakes, and
Did
you get your own cereal, get your own sugar.
Did your mom let pour it over? Did your mom let you have like tricks? Or
No.
Count chocolate.
It's not even that she didn't let us have it. It was just expensive, more expensive than cornflakes was, and then it was like cornflakes was something that everybody could have, whereas there was no like. And I was trying to say, I was having this conversation with Jeff. There was no
Jeff from Philharmonic Orchestra.
Yeah, there was no like we didn't have the luxury to be picky eaters as kids.
Right.
It was just kind of like there was food. Whatever is in the house is what you have to eat. So get used to it or get to liking it because and it wasn't like my parents would starve us, but it was just kind of like eat what's in front of you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
my parents never got. We were generally more. I'm gonna do this. Oh,
There's gonna be a lot of noise on that.
there's not gonna be that much noise.
Yeah, all the little rubbing that you're doing on there is gonna
It's gonna
come
get picked up.
Yep.
Sorry if that affected. If you're wearing earphones and that hurt, I'm sorry.
Yeah, even this is gonna get picked up. That you're just picking that you're doing at the bottle. It's gonna get picked
I
up.
am just. I'm a fidgeter.
Yeah, don't
I'm a fidget spinner.
try not to.
Okay, I'm gonna just sit there like this.
Like
What do I do with my hands?
yes, I was just gonna say
Sit here the whole time.
like in Talladega Nights.
What do
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Raising up. Also, can I just say? I know I just moved it. I'm sorry. Can I just give a hot take real quick? And I said this last night.
Okay, what's your hot take?
I don't. And I might get a lot of hate for this. We may get a lot of hate for this. So be prepared. We might have to go into hiding after this.
Okay.
I don't think Will Ferrell's that funny. I don't know why he's such a huge, iconic star. I get he did Elf, which was great, but I didn't really like Elf. And it's and also like Anchorman, great.
Anchorman.
Anchorman, great.
Yes.
But like that, like I never.
He had a run. It was Anchorman, Kicking and Screaming, Elf. Like he had a nice little run after the Night at the Roxbury, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers.
Old school.
He was in old school, and I think that he had a particular brand of comedy, which was kind of like frat boy comedy, that resonates with a certain group of people. And that they, it's gonna. I thought a lot of that stuff was funny. I didn't hate it.
I just never liked him. I never thought he was that great. I think the only thing he does exceptionally well is George Bush.
I think what he does exceptionally well is yell, yell really loud.
Yeah,
And that was his brand of comedy.
yell
for a
really
long time.
loud and like wear underwear that's too small for him, showing off his body.
Yeah, he's awkward,
Yeah.
and he's just like that's his comedy. Is how awkward he is.
Exactly. So I'm sorry if that pisses off a lot of people. That's just.
You're allowed to not like I don't particularly like Kevin Hart,
Ooh.
and I think that I never liked his brand of comedy. I
Right.
think he's funny.
Okay.
I see the appeal,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like I grew up watching stand-up comedy.
Mhm.
I grew up like I'm talking about every morning I would watch improv comedy
Okay.
because on A&E they had Evening at the Improv, and we would watch it before the school bus came. Me and my brother. So we watched a lot of like stand-up comedy in middle school, and then we had HBO. So I had also
You were at HBO. Wow.
yeah. So I
Talk
had
about privilege.
Def Comedy Jam as a kid.
Okay.
We had a crack box. We had not a crack box.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like a a cable
Steeler box. Yeah, I had that.
Yeah, we had one of those boxes.
I had that. Yeah, with
Yeah,
Showtime and
yeah.
what
Yeah,
happens at night with Showtime.
$50, and you got cable for until they shut it down.
That's right.
So we
Oh, the
had
coolness.
HBO, so I was watching a lot of stand up, like whatever stand up specials were there, like HBO. Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker, Martin's You So Crazy.
Martin okay? There was something going on.
He's getting old. They're old. He's like going to be 60s.
But that's not really that old nowadays. It's like what happened with him, and then what happened with Jamie Foxx.
So with
It's all P Diddy. Did you also hear the?
So with Martin, like
I'm going all over the place.
I'm not saying that Martin didn't take care of yourself, but at the same time, 60 is old if you don't take care of yourself.
Right. Yes.
You know.
I
So
mean,
there's a piece of that too, and I'm not accusing him of not taking care of yourself, but in general, like 60 can be old.
okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That's the politically correct answer.
That is. That's a good one. It's a very. I like it. Did you hear the? I don't know who it was that was reviewing them, but I came across TikTok. If I can find it, I don't know. Talk about it more. But it was a guy listening to the phone calls between P Diddy and his son while P Diddy's in jail, and he was saying things like, "Make sure to take out all the pizza boxes and get rid of the recycling." Like code word, like mafioso code word stuff. Like literally, like that producer. Did he ever do this? You know, make sure that you make sure you take out his recycling too. Like
So I think
unless he really cares about the environment while he's in jail.
I think there's part of your lineage that's seeping into this. I think you
Italians.
I didn't say Italians, but I meant Italians.
Okay.
That I don't know. This is very possible. It's very, very possible. I don't want to believe that the only thing in the baby oil bottles were baby oil.
Oh no, it was totally something else.
And I at the same time, like this is a running joke with a lot of people. Like baby oil lasts forever. One bottle lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like unless you have a Pornhub problem, then it doesn't last forever. But like in general, baby oil lasts forever. Like, why do you need so many bottles?
Well, he had a lot of people over, and they could just be very dry skinned. You get out of the pool, it's in California sun, or no, was this in Florida? That was at his place in Florida.
I don't know. I don't know enough. I don't know enough about P Diddy, as you call him.
Oh, should I call him Puff Daddy?
No, it's just funny when I hear people say P Diddy. When I'm so used to just hearing Diddy.
Diddy?
Yeah, Diddy.
Did he do it? Did he did it? He did it. He did it. He did all thing. He did it.
I remember when the Diddy did it was a joke on South Park.
Oh, South Park.
When
Park?
Satan was doing the Super Sweet 16.
South Park and like Family Guy, and also the
Simpsons, yeah,
have like
hit the nail on the head for a lot of social issues.
And like must have like futurists on his staff or something because they've predicted so many things.
Well, I think some of the things that they predict are like.
Oh, you're hitting my mic over here, man.
My bad. I think some of the things that they predict, quote unquote, predict are things that are kind of obvious. And with South Park, they are like I remember when South Park started getting on like a run of like being up to date. Like something happened on Sunday and it was in the episode on Tuesday.
Well, I think that just shows a testament to how like they worked. I think
they did the show like it was the Daily Show.
Well, because I think back then, I mean, now it's probably even quicker because I'm assuming that it's all computer graphics.
Well, that's when you notice it was computers when they started rolling stuff out really fast. That's when it was like, all right, this is computers. This was like
gotta be.
This was like 2007, 2008. Whenever like
good old days.
Yeah. Whenever the Jersey Shore people were popping and they made the Snooki episode where she was
You want to talk about something ruining it for Italians? That.
I mean, yes, sure.
Some people will say The Sopranos, but no, The Sopranos showed a different side.
I'm actually gonna probably jump back into Sopranos. I watched it.
Great.
I watched it last year, 2 years ago.
Were you the one that told me that they're coming out with a prequel?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're coming out with the prequel.
That's cool. I want to see that
show with James Gandolfini's son, doing like
Smaller Smaller Gandolfini.
Yeah.
Mini Gandolfini.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, Gandolfini.
Gandolfini.
Yeah.
Gandolfini. That sounds like just a small Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Gandalf the Great, that's his name?
I don't know. I've never watched Lord of the Rings.
See, thank you.
I can't do
everybody.
I can't do the Middle Earth stuff. I can't do the Middle Earth stuff. I can't do like like for me, Natalie hates that I will not try to watch Game of Thrones with her.
So it seems like you're the same thing as I. Are you not? Because do you like Star Wars?
I never got into it, but I don't not like it. Like
Okay.
it just is. But like when it comes to like the Middle Earth and the basically old medieval Europe,
Yeah.
I'm like I'm good off of that.
I see. I have said to many people, I'm not into fantasy.
Mm,
Sorry.
that's gross. But go ahead.
I did it off camera and off.
You didn't do it off
Right.
camera. You did it off mic.
I didn't know to do it off camera, but I'm not into fantasy. Like I was never into. I tried to get into Game of Thrones many times because I was pressured by all the people at Apple because they had all those freaking Game of Thrones parties I went to. I tried to get into True Blood.
I got into True Blood.
I tried to get into Lord of the Rings, couldn't do it. Many people have tried. I keep falling asleep. And there was another one. There's another, like The Hobbit and stuff like that. I am more into sci-fi stuff. I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
I love like Battleship Troopers. I don't like Star Trek. But the Marvel movies that are like, Guardians, I don't know. Those are more superhero movies.
Yeah.
But I don't like fantasy things. The only thing I do like that I scroll on Twitter is these like dark fantasy things that I'll show you one later. They remind me a lot of like
Talking about porn fan fiction.
no close.
Oh, okay.
Do you ever play like on the like not Nintendo 64 but like the Super Nintendo or the regular Nintendo like Castlevania?
I remember Castlevania.
It's like that. It brings me back to those times with that like 8-bit like Castlevania music.
Okay.
And with that like kind of look, because I like, even though I shouldn't, because I don't like Game of Thrones, I like the medieval kind of look with like knights and wizards, but I couldn't get into
No, the reason why I can't get into any of that stuff, call me racist, it's not enough black people. And like, it is what I can't relate
Not
to
wrong.
It. Like, I can't put myself in that, the same way that a lot of white people say they don't understand certain, movies or content that black people put out because they can't put themselves in it. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't suspend disbelief to believe that this universe exists with dragons and magic and all of this stuff.
But not a brother.
But black people is historically inaccurate.
Well,
like,
it's a fantasy.
Please square
world.
that circle for me.
The only thing I can think about is like, well, yes, you're right, but also like if you look at their map, there's no like very sunny areas.
Because they don't want there to be, and then again, it's not even like a beef with the creator. I mean, it's like George R.R. Martin is who he is. I'm not gonna get on him.
He's a big train conductor.
But is he?
Did you ever see the hats he wears? He looks like a train conductor.
Oh, okay.
He looks like if a train conductor swallowed a train and then kept on writing.
Oh, okay.
I dripped some.
So like, I'm not really into the whole. I can't get into any of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's not for me. It's not for me. Like
I can't either. You're right. I'm right there with you.
Like I can't. I used to call Game of Thrones growing up Dungeons and Dragons, and then I also conceded that even though I was into True Blood, that was grown up Twilight.
Absolutely, it was.
Yeah.
Did you ever play World of Warcraft?
No.
Okay.
Like the closest I ever got to anything like that was like Final Fantasy. And that was in the 90s on Sega Genesis. Oh, not Sega Genesis, Sony PlayStation. When Final Fantasy VII came out, my brother was really into it, and my cousins next door were really into it.
So were you like anime kids? Okay.
I was the closest to anime kids. I guess my cousins next door were really into anime.
Like, have you ever watched?
They were into like not even anime. They were into Dragon Ball Z.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's almost like a thing where you can say like, I'm not into anime, but I watch Pokemon. Pokemon is anime.
Well, they weren't really into Pokemon. Really, a lot of the kids in my school were into Pokemon, but I was like more like Batman, Superman. They also liked it too. My cousins.
Okay.
But and then
so DC family.
Yeah, and then I was into some of the. They were really into X-Men. X-Men on Saturday mornings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were really into that stuff. I was
now you have me thinking about a lot of stuff I watched. And there's not a lot of black people in a lot of things.
Well, yeah.
Like now, even I'm thinking about X-Men. The only one I ever saw was Bishop and Storm.
Yeah.
And then Game of Thrones, absolutely. I was even thinking like Walking Dead because I loved The Walking Dead until it got out of control.
We're watching it right now.
The like actual.
We're
Walking
watching
Dead?
Walking Dead right now.
Where are you?
We're in the
Jail.
no, we're past the jail.
Negan?
We're at the point where we're right after the jail gets blown up.
By Negan?
No, by the governor.
Oh, the governor.
Yeah, and
I
they
hated
reunite
that
with
guy.
they reunite with Carol.
I hated the governor so
Yeah,
much.
Tyrese reunites with Carol, not knowing that Carol's the one that killed his wife, his girlfriend, his somebody. I'm not paying close enough attention.
The governor?
No, Carol is the woman that was like Daryl's girlfriend.
Yeah, they were really close. They weren't
Yeah,
like I
something
don't
like
think
that,
they were
yeah.
fucking, but
But yeah, but she killed Tyrese's wife or something like that, or his sister, or somebody that was really close to Tyrese when Tyrese came into
oh
the jail.
yeah, I'm kind of starting to remember that. I thought you meant that she killed the governor's.
No.
Because the governor, his whole thing was he had.
Governor didn't even look like a Tyrese
No, he doesn't.
at all.
He doesn't.
Like, come on.
Tyrese, yeah, that just makes me think of Tyrese now
Yeah, no.
from Fast and the Furious franchise.
That's your point. That's your marker for Tyrese. It's the
Yeah.
Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah.
Not his music career prior to that.
Oh, I
Not-
forgot about that.
Not any of his acting roles prior to that. Not Transformers. Fast and Furious.
I mean, Transformers, first of all, I think the Fast and the Furious was before Transformers.
Oh yeah, Too Fast and Furious.
And it's never going to end.
He was in.
It's never
No,
gonna
they're
end.
doing one more movie.
Is it in space?
They already did space.
But they didn't actually go to space.
They did all go to space.
No, but like the crew didn't go to space.
Yeah, no. Ludacris's character and
The characters
Tyrese's
went to space,
went
but
to
like
space.
they didn't film in space.
they're not going to film in space.
Well, that's what they wanted to do. They said they wanted to do it in space, not the whole thing, like a part of it in space. Why were they in space in the movie?
Exactly. Should be more of your concern as to whether or not they're doing it, but the fact that they were doing it and how does it relate to street racing in the first movie.
Like the first two movies I was into, like especially the first movie that set it off, I thought the cars were awesome. I thought that everything was awesome.
Oh yeah,
And then they became what? They became basically a vigilante group, right?
they became the car racing Avengers.
Oh God.
They're the Car Avengers.
The Carvengers.
They became the Car Avengers, and the formula for franchise actors in that series is you're the bad guy, and then you become the good guy, and now you're part of the crew.
Right. That's
Reluctantly part of the crew, but you're the antagonist. Not the bad guy, but the antagonist, because let's be real. The first, 5 movies, the heroes are criminals.
Oh yeah.
The
Also,
heroes are
Didn't
criminals.
they have like a spin-off like Shaw and Hobbs?
Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw, yeah. And that was a buddy cop movie, essentially.
What was he in the franchise?
Who?
The white guy.
You're talking
The
about...
transporter.
Yeah, you're talking
One that
about...
talks like this.
He doesn't talk like that,
Oh,
but
does he?
I know what you're talking about.
They should make a Hitman movie.
They have. With
but
him?
With him.
Yeah,
like
they
the
have.
game. Like the game.
Oh, okay.
No, like the game
okay,
Hitman. Like
okay.
I think they should really make a good is that on PlayStation? Because if it is, I'm gonna go home and download it tonight.
Yeah, Hitman was on PlayStation.
Cool. I'm gonna go and download that tonight. I've been playing Control.
This is exactly what Natalie was talking about.
What?
Just the
Oh, welcome to my ADH life.
the
Welcome to my ADD.
oh my
I'll be
God.
talking to someone and
This this stream of consciousness
Oh,
is
my stream of consciousness
wild.
is just
And I'm paying
all-
attention to it now because Natalie brought it up, and I'm like, she is right. You're
Natalie, if you're listening, this is
This
my
is-
life. This is what my brain you have that internal voice. This is what my brain is like at all times. It'll be like,
Jesus Christ.
oh, Control is really cool. What do I want to eat tonight? Oh, wait a minute. I got to make sure I pick up the film, and I got to call my dad too. That's my stream of consciousness.
Yeah, that's everybody's stream of consciousness, but at the same time, your train does not have one direction. You have so many different delineations. You get so derailed that it's crazy. Do you know how we got to whether or not Hitman is on a video game console and whether or not you can download it tonight?
Yeah, I could backtrack because
Yeah? Can you draw a straight line from
mostly.
from Tyrese, the name in Walking Dead, to where we are right now?
Yes, let me backtrack real quick. Watch this, okay? So I last said, I'm going to go home and download Hitman for PlayStation. I mentioned Hitman because we started talking about
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw. And the white actor in there, I think, should play him. And the reason we started talking about that is because we started talking about the Fast and Furious franchise, which had Tyrese in it. And we started talking about Tyrese because you started talking about Tyrese in The Walking Dead, and I thought you were talking about that Tyrese that had a music career, was in Fast and Furious. And we got onto The Walking Dead because we were talking about fantasy shows and sci-fi shows. See? I have ADHD and ADD, but I can backtrack. I can go
like it's like playing
It's like Rain Man.
6 degrees of separation.
Exactly. Exactly.
Good job. You know what? Good job. I didn't think you could do that. I didn't think you could do that. I didn't think you were going to pull that out.
This is how it works for me is, yes, I completely understand that I zigzag and go all over the place.
All over the place.
All the time. But I know where I'm coming from and going. You know, this is really the best way I can describe my mind is I'm so excited to talk to you about so many things. It's like I have a floor, like in this studio right now where we are at Orchid House, there's a bunch of bags on the floor and I want to grab, I want to show you this I got. I want to show you this I got and this I got. But I know where everything is, where it's supposed to be and where it's come from. Yeah. It's just I have so much up here I want to get out. I skip over things because I'm so excited to talk to you about them. Or anybody in general. Especially if I get on something that I'm passionate about, like photography. It's like, the tism comes out. And I don't have tism.
We're not even talking about photography.
No. See,
you know, I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
So Jason Statham, that's his name.
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
We're back.
You know who does a great
Hit the clap button. We have a clap button now.
I don't know which one it is.
Just try one of them.
No, because it's going to just feed whatever, and some of them are like long.
There are a couple of long ones. This is why we need headphones.
Yeah.
That's
so
we got to change those up.
Yeah, we do. We will.
Man,
Jason Statham. You know who does a great Jason Statham impression? Godfrey.
Oh, he does great stuff.
Yeah, he does a great Jason Statham impression.
He does great stuff.
But yeah, so and he points out something that's hilarious about Jason Statham is about, and we'll get back on track after this. Is
after all that.
his movies are all like menial jobs.
Yeah,
like The Beekeeper.
They are.
The Transporter.
The Beekeeper. Yeah.
The Mechanic. Those all three of those were actual titles for movies, and that's just hilarious. The Beekeeper, The Transporter, The Mechanic. He was something else. I think he was like the scuba instructor. No, that's not. He wasn't that.
No, he was in Meg.
Oh, with the Meg. What's the Meg?
The Meg is about the Megalodon shark.
Oh, okay.
He was in the Megalodon shark movie.
Yeah, he was also in Italian Job, and he was in The Bank Job.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was just looking at the camera, making sure it was still recording.
Yeah, I would tell you. I'm paying it right close.
I'm very,
distractible.
I'm very. Oh,
you're very distractible.
Oh, here comes the heat.
You're very distractible.
Yeah. See, look how I just jumped from being distracted about the camera to the heat coming on.
Yeah,
Maybe I should get medication.
If this is not helping, I don't know if medication would help.
In a different way.
Oh, well, it does.
Each sip of this makes you look better and better. You're like,
I hope not.
I've always wanted to be best friends with Shaq, and you're the closest I'll ever get.
You know what's so frustrating about that?
What?
That you say that?
It's racist?
No. The number of times somebody says to me, "Oh, you look like Shaq," and I'm like, we're like 4 shades apart.
That's true.
And I'm like, and we're also about a foot apart.
Oh yeah, 100%. He is a tall glass of water.
Yeah, he's 7 foot.
Tall glass of water.
Yeah, Shaq's 7'1".
I'm gonna hold on. Siri, how tall is Shaquille O'Neal?
No, you already did that. Shaq, and it told me Shaq was 7'1".
Shaquille O'Neal is 7 feet 1 inch.
Wow. Also, why when I did Siri, it pulled up on yours?
You're closer to this.
Yeah, but it's supposed to know your voice. And what am I talking about? Apple doesn't know.
Wait a minute. You truly believe that the device knows your voice?
Absolutely.
Nah. I think it knows. I think it knows that you're speaking, but I don't think it cares whose voice is talking.
It's not like an Alexa. Alexa, anyone in that, if I say Alexa right now, someone's Alexa is going off in their home. Alexa, play porn sounds.
That's not a thing. That's not like a track on Spotify that it can
no, it is.
Is it?
There's I saw a TikTok about a guy finding pornographic playlists, and then Spotify is having trouble trying to get rid of them right now because they're making money.
Well, yeah.
Because we're all, we're all just dirty people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're just dirty crotches. Well, maybe not dirty, but okay. So
It just sounds itchy. But yes, the number of times I get called Shaquille O'Neal is frustrating because like there was a period, I think I posted about it. There was a period where it was like it happened to me like 3 or 4 times in the same week.
Wow.
Like I was just kind of
like someone came up to you and said,
I was like out in public. I was in a store somewhere. It's like, oh, I thought you were Shaq. I'm like, no, you didn't. There's no fucking way you thought I was Shaq. You just wanted to mention the fact that you think I look like him, and you had no other way to say it. There's no possible way that you looked at me and thought I was 7'1" and thought I was Shaq.
people are really bad at judging length. Good for me. Not great for everybody else.
Yeah, people are bad at judging length, but seriously, like 7 feet is like he walks in a room.
You're what, 6'4"?
I'm 6'4".
Okay.
Yeah. So, but like when Shaq walks in the room, like it commands attention.
Oh yeah.
Like, yes, if I walk into a room, it's noticeable, but it's not like
He's also got that 17-inch shoe, right?
he's probably also got like an entourage.
Yes.
Like, I wouldn't be in the store by myself shopping for blazers as Shaq.
Well, I saw a story because I watch whatever the show is called on ESPN where it's him and Charles Barkley and 2 other guys.
Chuck, come on, Chuck.
That when he was traded from, I forget where he was traded from, but when he went to Phoenix, he had to go out to the Walmart and he made the highest purchase in Walmart history, which was $70,000.
Shaq?
Yeah.
Shaq went to Phoenix?
Yeah.
Shaq was on the Suns?
Shaq was on the Suns for a little while.
I don't remember that because I don't pay attention to sports.
Siri, when was Shaquille O'Neal on the Suns?
You know, if you said that you were going to do...
Shaquille O'Neal played for the Phoenix Suns from February 2008 to 2009.
So 1 season.
So,
This is from
see,
TopInSports.com.
Thank you.
if I knew you were going to...
Okay, just like a woman.
Wow. If I knew you were going to do that, we would have been able to connect it to the board so that the
Kidding
sound
on
would
that
sound crazy. Because now it just sounds like you're just talking to...
Yeah, I
whatever.
probably picked that up.
I'm sure it picked it up, but you're going to complain about it in the middle of the week.
No, I know that it's on the floor and
Okay.
that it's not in range. I do want to, before we leave, I do want to test and see how the Bluetooth with the phone works because then we can have people call in.
Yeah, that would have been awesome if you just like all of that. We could have talked about that off camera.
Oh, sorry. Well, I ruined another thing.
Like,
Just
this
like
is all
zigzag.
this is all inside work shit.
This is the name of the podcast episode, Zigzag, Ryan Zigzags.
So, I talked to my friend Rob over at the Locksmiths.
Oh, yeah.
He
I haven't
is
seen him in a while.
excited. Oh, you went to do the photos with me, right? When he did the show?
Yes. Yeah. It was was it a place in the city?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. They're really good. They're really good. I'm
Yeah,
glad
so
to see
they're
that they're still playing.
Yeah, they're gonna come and do a show. We're gonna come and do the show with us. They're going to. He's really excited.
I'm very excited for that. He does mostly acoustic?
Yeah, he's an acoustic. He's acoustic. He also does like it's him and his wife.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. And I DJ'd their wedding. I went to high school with Rob.
I'm getting that.
And I also kind of I kind of grew up with him, not realizing I grew up with him because we're from the same neighborhood,
Okay.
from the same church, and
Where's up?
yeah, and like by the time I got to high school, there was like so many checkpoints that we did together. Like it was a bunch of stuff that we did together.
You guys live parallel lives.
No. Like when I got to high school, I knew who he was. Like
okay.
we were cool in high school and stuff like that. And like he's been performing since high school and stuff. But we can get into
Very
that.
talented.
Yeah, we can get into all of that when they get on the show. But they were excited to get on the show, and then we also have. I talked to Jordan over at Melanin Magic. They want to get on the show.
What's that?
It's the
Tell us about it.
string trio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the one that you would use for Ilharmonic?
Yeah, the ladies they perform with us at the Harmonic.
Are they in New York?
Two of them are.
Because
Two of them are in Brooklyn.
just in case people don't know, why don't you fill us in a little bit on the Ilharmonic and then talk a little bit about that?
Sag.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm just trying to move the show along.
So the Ilharmonic Orchestra is a hip hop orchestra that I've been performing with for the last 15 years. Let's call it 15 years. Yeah, I started performing with them in
That time we went to the sorry.
the summer. I started performing with them summer of 2010, so 14 and a half years. And since then, I've performed internationally.
Can I ask you a question?
What's your question?
It's about this, so it's not real Zigzag. Were they performing before you joined?
Absolutely. They've been
Okay, so-
performing for 10 years before I joined.
Wow.
At least 10 years.
They're incredible people. They really are. We need to have them on too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I just love them in general as people.
They had an open invite to come when we were doing this before.
Right. I know. But
know?
now we have a more centralized location, so it's easier. But so they were doing it 10 years before they met you. How did they find you? And how did you at Apple?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just Jeff at Apple.
Yeah, when me and Jeff working at Apple, it was just kind of like,
But how did it go from just being like coworkers to being like, oh, why don't you come? Did you audition? Did you?
no, it was just, they had a show in Philly at the Rotunda. And they were like, Jeff was just kind of like, oh, you want to come do the show?
Did they not have a DJ before that?
They had used the DJ, but a lot of times they were relegated to using like a track. I know Jeff said there was a period where he just kind of had an iPod just for shows. That's how far back it goes. They had an iPod Nano just for shows.
Oh, that reminds me of something else. We're not going to zigzag right now. We'll come to it. We'll stay on course.
Please do.
Okay.
So they used to have a back. Their backing tracks used to be on an iPod Nano back then.
Wow.
And then Jeff asked me if I wanted to do the Rotunda show with them, and I was like, yeah, sure. I'm not doing anything. So we loaded up my Volvo. We drove down to Philly, and then we did the Rotunda show. Met some of the musicians that we still play with, to this day. I mean, they were playing with him before.
Right.
More specifically, Jack, who is like probably one of the coolest people that I know.
Where did he play?
Jack plays violin, but Jack, he's a dope violinist. Like he's one of the few violinists that are classically trained.
Cool.
That can freestyle. Like that.
Freestyle, like with the violin?
Yeah, that's like, most classically trained musicians don't have the capacity to play outside of what's written.
Right. They stay on course with like
If it's not written, I don't know how to play it. I don't know how to,
canoodle.
Yeah, I don't know how to flourish or anything like that without it being written. But I'm going to say it, a few of the black musicians, they all have the capacity to do it without any issues. Some of the other musicians can too, but for the most part, when it comes to the classically trained ones, a lot of times it's just kind of like whatever's I can only play what's on the sheet music. If I want to show off, I got to write something, or something has to be written in a form of showing off.
Now, do you guys only try to use people of color, like in the group, or?
So we definitely like to highlight musicians of color, just because there aren't that many of us.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, the orchestras and the orchestra houses try their best to carve them out without explicitly saying it, but they're just like, they always find reasons why you're not a good fit. Same thing with booking us, booking us for shows is always like a thing. And then when Jeff and Andrea come on, we can talk more about it, but like
I'd love to, yeah.
But booking shows that like the venues are always, have reasons why we're not a good fit. And then what happens is,
oh yeah, do you think
all
it's
the time.
ever...
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's exactly what you think.
Well, that was going to be a question I was going to eventually have for you. Is have you guys in that group have toured the world basically?
Yeah, we did Japan,
Which is awesome. Have you ever run into problems?
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. There's this low level contempt for hip hop music that exists in every venue that we go into. And then there's a low level contempt for black musicians when we go into certain spaces. And at the end of the show, there's always like this overwhelming shock by the
Audience.
not the audience, because the audience at this point knows what they're getting into.
Right.
but like the production staff that's like kind of like, oh wow, you guys are actually good. It's kind of like the vibe.
It's
that
like
we get.
you're instead of them being like, oh wow, you guys are so talented and everything, they're like surprised that you do stuff besides hip hop and rapping.
Yeah, it's like they're surprised that number one that it works.
Right.
Number two
Works
that they're surprised that our musicians are as talented as they are, especially when we show up and there's like one person that's white on the stage. You know, it's usually, you know, in the Northeast area, it's usually like James. He's one of the keyboard players that we use.
Yeah, I think I remember him. Yeah,
he's a monster. So like, I understand why we use him. And then when we're like,
I'm not saying that I don't think you guys don't choose.
No.
You want talent. It just but you also try to highlight.
So here's the thing. Here's what happens with that like all black orchestra thing. The way it usually works for a long time, the way it worked was like the blast would go out requesting or asking for musicians for a hip hop orchestra, right? For hip hop music,
right?
And the musicians that show up are a lot more people of color than there are white musicians,
right?
So by the time we go to promote the show, it's like, okay, we're promoting all black orchestra. We didn't say we didn't say all black when we were looking for musicians.
Yeah.
But the white musicians or the musicians that would be considered white or whatever,
right,
chose not to audition for us.
Got it.
So it's like, okay, you choose not to audition for us. That's fine. And we end up with an all black orchestra or a predominantly black or people of color orchestra.
Right.
So we're going to promote that we're that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it's just kind of like like I said, there's a low level contempt or a low level expectation of mediocrity that a lot of musicians carry, and they look down their nose at us.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of times where we do shows and people that come to play with us kind of like expect us to kind of expect it to be easy.
Yeah.
The one thing that frustrates me is rehearsal, because the musicians get the music and they get the sheet music and they get the reference tracks and what the music's supposed to sound like all like 6 to 8 weeks out.
Okay.
And then
don't come prepared.
And then when they get to the rehearsal, like I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for that light bulb to go off. I can see it in their eyes where they go, oh, that's what it's supposed to sound like. And in my head, I'm like, you got the fucking music 8 weeks ago. You didn't even practice it because you heard hip hop and then you were like, oh, this is gonna be easy. I can just sight read. And then you get there, you don't know the music, you don't know the swing, you don't know how it actually goes. And then we got to spend time in the rehearsal, instead of tightening things up, teaching you what the song is supposed to sound like.
So
it's frustrating as hell.
I can understand that completely. I mean, I think that happens across a lot of industries too. Like even in like rock bands and stuff like that. When I was in bands, we'd have people come in and they would just think it's going to be this, and this, but then they find out it's something more intricate. But my question is with that, so because like just to also fill in, like so what you guys do is you play hip hop music.
Hip hop.
What did I say?
I said hip hop.
I'm sorry. I'm tired. Hip hop music with an orchestra, and usually the orchestra is filling in. What would you say, like the beats, or
like the hip hop? The orchestra plays the music. They play the music of the only thing I fill in as the DJ is the drums and maybe some like ambient sound, and then I cut and scratch samples.
So I'm
the drummer.
Got it. So something I'm really curious about now that you've spoken about that, and I never really thought about all because I always forget that like these orchestras read music. Are Jeff and Andrea writing the actual music?
So Jeff writes all the lyrics. He writes all the music. He makes all the backing tracks. He books all the shows. So he reaches out to all the venues.
I know that. Yeah.
He he writes the
sheet music.
He writes the sheet music.
It's incredible.
He writes the backing track. He composes the drums. He composes the backing track.
Does he have a music degree, or
no?
He's
doesn't.
Just extremely gifted in music.
He is extremely gifted in music, and he has a lot of the right people around him. Right. So he definitely is talented in being able to actually do the work. He knows what he wants in his head, which is one of the most frustrating things, because he'll be like, when we get to shows, there are some times where I'm like, what you want, that motherfucker can't do. And he'll just kind of like, and he knows what he wants in his head, but he's not able to articulate it to some of the musicians. And then like you can see where the musician, there's a ceiling of capabilities that this musician has compared to the musician that we worked with 2 weeks ago has.
Yes.
And then what the musician we had 2 weeks ago was able to do, this one, and they did some fly shit, and then he'll be like, I like that. And then the next show he'll be like, yo, can you do this? And then they'll be like, yeah, I can do it, but they fucking can't.
That's a really good point because I've seen many of your I've been very fortunate to see many of your amazing shows in person, from the Kennedy Center to BB King's to I'm trying to think of another. The one that was at that.
Yeah, at the Adler Center.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some incredible venues you guys play. But that's a great point that you're bringing up because there's been times I've seen you like here, and then 6 months later I'll see you here, and I'm like, they sounded better this time than that. And that's because some people, and nothing against the band, nothing against the people that you hire to play. Everyone is talented, but you're making a good point that some people are better than others, and now it's all like kind of like correlating in my mind together.
Yeah. No, like so it's, at the end of all of it, every person that we work with, number one, is way more talented than I am. At the same time, me as the because I have the best view in the house.
Yes, you do.
Right, I get to see the entire show in front of me from essentially the back of house perspective.
Yeah.
Right?
And you
all the people that I'm comparing right now are more talented than I am. I should have prefaced everything I said with that. At the same time, I can tell of all the talented people, who's more talented than the other.
I understand what you're saying.
Yes, who are like musicians by practice and who are musicians by birth. And there are some musicians
Very
like
deep right there.
No. There are some people that we work with that are just like I said, Jack is a fucking monster natural musician. Tahita is a fucking monster musician. Nikki is a monster. James is a monster. Jordan is a monster. Monique, like they're all like real musicians that we work with, right?
Oh yeah, and they're all
Jordan, Charles Jordan, which is another person that we work with. Like all these people are fucking monsters.
Yeah.
You know, and then we also work with people that, and I'm not naming all the monsters, but like there are also people that we work with that it's like, that's what we got.
But they're all, one thing I've always noticed, because I've also been fortunate enough to work with you guys in video and photo, and every single one of them has always been so professional, so hardworking and so nice. It's just so like wonderful. I always love going to your guys' show. And one other thing I was going to say that you have the best view of, especially, I mean, I will never forget the show you guys played that I was there on side stage at Kennedy Center.
Oh, the Kennedy Center.
I've never seen so many people down a hallway. I think you guys, like, it must have been like...
Oh, you talking about the first Kennedy show? Because you did 2 Kennedy shows with us.
Yes, not the one in the amphitheater, but the one you did like
hallway,
in the hallway.
Yeah.
I've never seen... I think you guys had more people than any sort of Trump rally that I've ever seen. It was just like it was not a mile, but like it was like the whole hallway was just filled with people.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was, you know, I've played in a lot of bands in my life and I've done a lot of shows. That is the biggest show I've ever seen anyone that I know personally play, any bigger than any show I've ever played. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah, that show was dope. But it was like an entire hip hop fest. That show.
Yes, I remember because, and then over there, I remember there was like someone in the right-hand corner that was doing another set and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had graffiti that day. We had break dancers that day, and then we had it was a dope show.
I'm sure they don't do that this year.
But the reason we got the New Year's Eve Kennedy show was because of that show.
I remember that show. I remember that show.
We didn't get the sound that we were supposed to get because again, it was just on some like this is just a hip hop show, whatever.
What, the first one or the second one?
The first one.
Oh, okay.
And then by the time we did the Kennedy Center, they had their shit together.
I love that. I love that you guys came and performed your heart out, and they didn't sound you correctly because they were like, oh, it's just some sort of hip hop bullshit. And then you showed up, killed it, and then they were like, oh fuck, we fucked up.
Oh no, dead ass. When we did that show, the reason we got the Kennedy show in for the New Year's Eve was because the people, the patrons that went to the hip hop show,
Yeah.
were all on the page complaining that the show wasn't great because of sound and not because of us.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. That's great when people get together and like really rise up some stuff. But I mean, every show I've ever been to, you guys, it's always packed. I'm wondering though. I'm just curious. When you were in Japan, was it big venues, small venues?
So when we were in Japan, we did Fox Backstage Pass.
Is that like a festival?
No, it's just it's kind of like this. It would kind of be like this. We had reporters, and then we also had like a show, a performance section where we did I think 1 or 2 songs, and then we also did a live show, which was at the Ginza Apple store.
Oh, that's sick. Oh,
Yeah.
because
At the time,
Jeff
we were
doing
still,
something with iTunes?
Jeff did a bunch of stuff with iTunes.
Yeah.
when iTunes was around.
Yeah, so we went to Tokyo Narita to do the Ginza show in the Apple store in Ginza,
That's awesome.
and then because of that, because of Jeff's infinite wisdom and ability to market and reach out to the people, the powers that be, he reached out to Dan, who was at Fox at the time.
Fox, like Fox 5?
Fox, but like Fox has a Japanese or a Asian component. So Backstage Pass at the time broadcasted to I think 100 countries or
Wow.
however many countries are considered Asian countries. I don't know if it's 100 countries, but it was like a lot.
Yeah.
They broadcasted to like I remember hearing like 100 something, maybe publications.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is.
Okay. Publications.
Because 100 countries sounds
Do
crazy.
you want to go back to Japan in October with us?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, we're going in October because I'm doing the film in September, and that'll pay for my trip. But we're already starting to look at tickets for flights, around $900 right now. We're not buying yet. We're waiting for it to go down a little.
Round
bit more.
trip?
Round trip. And then, like when you're over there, it's super cheap. We're gonna go there.
No, I know it's cheap in Japan.
Yeah, of course. We're gonna go for 10 days, and every day I'm gonna have an egg sando sandwich from a 7-Eleven. And we should do a podcast while we're there.
We can do an
a podcast
episode
while
in
we're there.
Japan.
When you were there, were you treated like? Because I've always heard like when people from America go over there, they're almost treated like celebrities. But I've also heard that when people of color go over there, they're like treated like either really bad or like they're like superstars. What was your?
So I was with Jeff, and
Andrew wasn't there?
Andrew wasn't there. It was just me and Jeff and Fluter Scooter, which was our flute player who also rides a scooter. I think she's like she was definitely a hipster.
Okay.
I think she has an ice cream truck now.
She's welcomed.
She was a dope flute player. She played flute with Wiz Khalifa. She does like a lot of hip hop flute stuff. So she came out. She was like down for it. So we.
Also, it was a very condensed.
It was so from the people that came from New York. It was just me, Jeff, and Fluter.
Okay.
And when we were there, like because I was with Jeff and I stand like a foot over Jeff.
Right.
It looked a lot like I was his security.
That makes sense.
And then because I was carrying my record bag, and in my record bag was like a mixer and other DJ stuff just for, doing this stuff. And I, like it looked like I was his security and his like manservant. So it amplified him looking like a celebrity.
Okay.
So there were times where we were followed by a couple of people. There were people when we asked questions. There were people that were just kind of like really like would not swarm, but like come up to see what was going on.
Right.
Because not only are we black, but we're black interacting with people.
Yeah.
And then there was a few times where we split off. So like I went to. There was one time where he went back to the hotel to go to sleep, like during the day, and I was like, I want to go eat, and Jeff is a really picky eater.
Okay.
See that. Yeah, and then just to call back to the earlier in the podcast about the picky eating thing. Jeff is the person I was talking to about that. So when I was with him, I was kind of stuck just eating McDonald's with him, and I was like,
which though I'm sure McDonald's over in Japan is way different and better.
It's different, but there are staples.
Yeah, well, yeah, of
Yeah.
course. But I've seen like
Nuggets, Big Mac. That's like gonna be on the menu. So
nuggets.
like with him, it was like
Chicken
we were
Big Mac.
gonna go to McDonald's or a American fast food chain to eat, and I was like, no, I'm in sushi mecca.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat McDonald's every day. So when I was there, when he went to go sleep, I was like, I'm going to get something to eat. So I walked into like this one spot that had the sushi conveyor belt.
Yeah, conveyor belt. Yep.
And then once I walked in, first of all, anywhere you walk into, you get the arigato gozaimasu. You get that, right? And then I looked at the I guess the host. And I looked at the chef, and it was a small place.
Yeah.
And I took my Visa card out. I was like, Visa good? And like, oh, Visa good. And I was like, all right, cool. Like I went to sat down and had like the best sushi that I've ever had
sure.
in the world.
You can get the best sushi in the world at their 7-Eleven. No, seriously, like I am extremely excited about getting the egg sandwich sandos or egg sandos from 7-Elevens there, because when I was in Thailand last September, Asian country, not Japan, but they have some Asian influence stuff in those 7-Elevens there.
Yeah.
And I got rice balls or nigiris. I got sandos and everything like that. Not the best, but it was good. So I am pumped about going to the 7-Elevens in Japan.
Yeah. You know they're actually doing there's going to be a conversion for the 7-Elevens in America.
Yes, because
They're gonna
7-Eleven
go-
is now owned by Japan.
Yeah, so they're gonna start doing the stuff in the U.S. that they do in the 7-Elevens.
The next time you come to Astoria, they opened up a Japanese convenience store right down the block from me. And they have egg sandwich sandos, they have ramens, they have candies, they have everything that you would find in Japan right there. And it's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited about Japan. That, and I'm going to be spending all of my money in their film camera.
Yo, there's a store, a camera store in there that sells like used gear, and they sell like
tell me this.
film gear. What's your boy Kai on formerly of Digital Rev,
Digitrends, yeah.
the Digital
I
Rev.
talked to him once. I was able to actually speak with him when I worked at B&H about doing a campaign, and he sounds just like that. And what I loved about it too was like I was like, hey, we'd love to work with you. We can get you cameras here, here, and here. He's like, oh, brother, I can get all of those cameras straight from the company.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
you're
He's because
a
he's
fucking boss.
he is definitely the voice in cameras.
Well, he's Chinese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But he went to Japan. He's been to Japan
Oh, yeah.
for that camera store that has like
I can't wait.
like a ton of used stuff.
That poor.
No, so I've held out this long from getting a film camera.
Well, we need to get you into that before we go to Japan because
film camera?
Yes, we need to just get you a Canon AE1 to start out with. Very easy, very basic, nothing like my Leica, But I think you would love it, and I also think your creative eye would work really well. And we're going to be in Japan in like the fall time,
Okay.
so it's going to be.
I wouldn't mind going snowboarding in Japan, honestly.
Oh, that would be sick. That would be sick. Yeah, snowboarding in Japan sounds like it would be awesome. I don't know where exactly. I guess Mount Fuji is that?
I don't know if it's Mount Fuji, but I heard snowboarding in Japan is dope.
It's got
I
to be.
definitely want to snowboard internationally. I was looking at some gear today on Facebook Marketplace.
Well, my goal this year is to do one international gig this year. Like, I'm trying to get into Paris or London for photography. So, like,
Okay.
you
doing Fashion Week?
I haven't actually got any calls for this Fashion Week. I did a lot of stuff for Fashion Week in September.
What about your boy, Greg? Not Greg.
Miss Drew?
No. The one that did the Hilton event with you.
Oh, Greg. I don't think.
Yes,
yeah,
Greg. You should have said yes
I
to
didn't
Greg.
think about
You
it.
made me second guess his name when I was right.
We're also gonna have Greg on the podcast eventually.
Fuck.
But I don't think he's. I know we're doing something.
Realize, Greg, that he didn't remember your name, but I did.
Oh, I didn't know we were talking about that Greg. I love Greg. Greg's an Eagles fan. Fly Eagles fly.
Do, 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 do.
So, is that Jamiroquai?
No, that's Seal. Fly like an eagle.
Yeah, Seal. No, I don't think he's doing anything for Fashion Week. I know we're probably doing something with Bumble and Estee Lauder, but nothing with Fashion Week, which is fine because you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Fashion Week for photographers sucks, and I don't really want to do it. I was in the pit last year, I was hired to be in the pit for a small magazine, and then I was hired to do a fashion video for a model. And granted, I had a great time. I saw some great fashion. It's not my world. It's not my world. Like, I'm not the most fashionable person in the world. I'm fashionable, but like, I'm not the most fashionable person in the world. And
I'm
like,
not the most fashionable person in the world either, but I'm a little bit more
no, you're
fashionable than
fashionable.
Ryan.
Your outfits always match your shoes.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
I know.
They're supposed to.
I
That's
mean-
part, like when you lay your
I have.
when you lay your clothes out, you're supposed to put your clothes. You're supposed to have your shoes match your clothes.
I thought it was match your belt.
Your shoes are supposed to match your belt, which is supposed to match your clothes, which is supposed to make sense. So, like, there are rules.
I have this idea for the podcast I've been thinking about where,
The one that we're doing currently,
right, the one we're doing
Okay.
currently, that we go out and I buy a bunch of stuff for you and we have it try it on the podcast, and then you buy a bunch of stuff for me. Not like jokey stuff, like real stuff, like things I think we would actually like, because I want to go shopping with you. I also think that would be a great video to go shopping with Phil and have him dress me up to make me look a little bit better than I look.
I can take you shopping.
We're gonna, yeah.
Not like Diddy take you shopping, but I'm not taking you shopping, but we can go to the store where people shop together, and then I'll tell you what to buy in the shopping experience. But I'm not going to take you shopping.
Right.
All
I'm gonna
right,
pay for
all
it
right,
myself.
50. I'm not taking them shopping
Right.
because I don't do that. I don't take dudes shopping. I'll take Natalie shopping, and even she will tell you that I'm not really good at taking people shopping.
Yeah, but you know what I like about your shopping styles is you always have great clothes and you always pay a good price for them. Like, you have these great white sneakers I want to get this summer because I'm a white sneaker summer guy. And I always, like, I've been looking at this company Thursday. They're $160.
You should just get them. Thursday boot sneakers.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So Thursday makes really good stuff. I would tell you. So my brother and
that's not a racist joke.
no, it's not. No. I know it's not. I know it.
That's not like a
No.
brother.
I knew it. I knew it wasn't. Yeah, that was fucking
Yeah,
racist.
sorry, man.
I knew it wasn't racist. I knew it was based on the fact that I'm one of 5.
And I
brothers.
know that
And
you
you know
are
that I
one
have
of yes.
that I have 4
Though
brothers.
I've only met Hugo and Cliff. Right?
You met Hugo Cliff and you met my brother-in-law at my sister's birthday party, which she didn't show up for.
I remember that. That was great.
Yeah.
And I
So-
also met your sister, the lawyer, right?
Rose. You met Rose.
She was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say?
It's a Rose.
Yeah, Rose.
Yeah.
So
Oh man, I get myself into these situations sometimes.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
We were talking about clothes. You have a lot of brothers. You were talking about how you.
Oh, okay. So what I was gonna say was with one of my brothers. I'm not gonna tell you which one because I don't want to blow him up. But there's a he and I like very differently. He is very much like very good at being a responsible person. He's very much good at being an adult, and I'm not good at being an adult. But what comes with
You're getting married. You have a
yeah.
great job. You're getting married. You have a podcast. Attractive guy.
So, and you.
Yeah.
So when
He's right.
So when it comes to clothes, he was never really into clothes like that, and it used to frustrate me. So there was a time where he was like, "Look." Like, he was always hitting me up, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I always appreciated that. So what I would do is I would tell him, you should probably go there. You should probably go there. So more recently, I think in the last year, what I told him, I was like, look, if you had right now, like $2,000, and then you wanted to burn your existing wardrobe and start from scratch, here are the places I would tell you to go. I would tell you to get all your shoes from Thursday Boots. I would tell you to go to, did I say Fresh Clean Threads?
You didn't say that.
I think Fresh Clean is where I told him he should get all his shirts and stuff. And then between Fresh Clean and Built and Thursday, you can build a wardrobe.
Well, okay. So, what do you think? What do you think is the most important thing in a person's wardrobe? Their shoes, their clothes, Or they're
I think
necessities?
the most important thing in your wardrobe is going to be your shoes, and you need to. So the most important thing is to buy pieces that aren't fast. What I mean by fast is fast fashion's a
Made
problem.
quickly, like Sheen.
No, not even made quickly. It's like it's of the moment. Like really, right now it's really cool, but
Oh, okay.
so like the best thing to do is not getting baggy, not getting skinny, but getting straight fit jeans.
I have changed over to straight fit because skinny has like
Yeah.
my calves are getting they're suffocating.
Yeah, so straight fit jeans will always be there, right? A chukka boot is always going to work.
Chukka.
That's what you're wearing right now, chukka
All
boots.
right.
A construction boot always works,
Tim's?
like Timberlands.
But what does that
style.
work for?
So
What situation am I wearing that in?
So a construction boot, if you wear like one that's clean and built really well, you can wear that to a lot of. You can wear that out.
Are you wearing Docs right now?
I'm wearing Doc Martens,
Docs.
which is adjacent to construction shoes.
Right.
So it's similar to Doc Martens. I'm wearing some Doc Martens, right? You can wear that out where it's not too formal,
Yeah.
right? Well, it's not
Yeah.
formal at all. Not too formal, but
Okay.
not formal at all, right? I would also say chukkas. A Chelsea boot's really good if you want to be a little bit elevated casual,
Right.
right? Then you have a regular like brogue boot or combat boot.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be really, really good for like another step above Chelsea,
Right.
right? And then you have shoes, regular like dress shoes.
Yep.
When you have dress shoes, you can either go brogue, you can go with a cap toe, or you can go with a square toe. I don't like square toed. You look like a fucking FBI agent if you got square toed shoes.
I have a
But-
square-toed brown shoe.
But if you want to go square toe, you can. If you're gonna go brown, you got to make sure your brown shoes matches your brown belt, and it's not just brown and brown. It's like the same color brown. So if you're going cognac on the belt, you're gonna go cognac on the shoes.
Listen to this. Listen
All
to all
right.
that. Okay.
Also, you want when it comes to tops and bottoms, a fitted polo shirt,
Yeah.
right? Fitted polo always works.
Right.
White, navy blue, black.
Yeah, but the thing you rock the most that you look so good in and I don't, turtlenecks.
So turtlenecks are my thing. I've liked turtlenecks going all the way back to middle
They
school.
look great.
I love
it's like,
turtlenecks.
Something.
So the reason
Hugging your
why
head.
I like turtlenecks is because turtlenecks work in like a variety of situations.
Yeah.
You can wear a turtleneck with a blazer.
Oh yeah.
You can wear a turtleneck with
wanna
a
look like that.
jacket.
I
You can wear a
want that.
turtleneck by itself.
Yeah.
So this is why I like turtlenecks. Turtleneck is like business casual adjacent.
Right.
I
Where'd
even
you
wear
get this one, the one you're wearing right now.
I buy a lot of my stuff at K&G because I'm not a brand whore.
What's K&G?
K&G is a clothing store. It's like a discount clothing store. it's kind of like
Uniondale?
no, it's not Uniondale. There's one in Garden City. There's one
Roosevelt Field.
near Roosevelt Field.
Adjacent. It's that line. It's that line you showed me in Garden City.
No.
That
It's
line-
in
that
Garden
road
City.
line,
The
that
line in
road
Garden
line.
City is Garden City and Hempstead.
Yes, I remember we driving over, and you're like, "This is the Garden City."
This is where the black people start.
This is where all right. What accessories though? Like I started wearing rings recently. I have a watch. I have my Apple Watch, and I also have a Casio watch. But I need help with this wrist because this thing I have on here it's flimsy. It falls around and whatever. I need like something here, and like part of me wants to get the Cuban links. But
Like a
that's
drug
too
dealer
Italian
from the
for me. No,
90s?
that's too Italian for me. I got a Cuban links bracelet at my confirmation when I was 12. And I
Okay.
don't want to wear that. That's too much. That's too much for me. So like I need to find something to wear on my wrist that like you have the what I call the prayer beads.
I do.
Yeah, but I want something a little not prayer beads. I don't want anything like that. I'm thinking something just like I don't know. Do you know who Kieran Culkin is?
No. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Macaulay
Have you
Culkin's
seen,
brother.
Like, his interviews
the dark
lately?
hair.
He has like 8,000 friendship bracelets.
Yeah, it's too many.
Yeah.
It's too many. So then that's what happens with these beads because there was a period where I was overdoing it. I think 3 is my number, right?
I'm thinking like a nice like this with like gold chain kind of situation.
You can do that. So when it comes to accessories, you just want to make sure that you're in the same color palette.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously all gold. I mean, I'm really leaning into the Italian shit here. Right
Yeah, with the
now.
gold, right?
Look at this.
Yeah, gold Nike.
Fucking, Gugino over here. Like, I'm gonna, get into my Cadillac and go slap my wife.
We need to get Ryan a horn chain.
Oh, the
Yeah,
horn chain,
we need
which
to get him
people
a
also
horn
called
chain.
the pepper chain.
That's the pepper chain.
Well, it looks like a pepper.
Oh yeah, it does.
It
We need to
looks
get
like
Ryan a pepper
especially
chain.
my old boss had a horn chain
Yes,
and it was red.
he needs to get a confirmation / communion chain.
Oh God.
So
More
so
than enough.
so I would say what works best is making sure your color palette's the same.
You mean like all gold, all gold,
All gold,
Yeah.
all gold, all silver. If you want to go Cuban link, you can. A lot of places are selling Cuban links right now for a good price,
I just don't want. It's too Italian for me.
yeah, which is fine. You can also go leather jewelry, which is really more in your lane for your aesthetic.
Yeah.
Because you can do leather with silver, you can do leather with platinum, you can do leather with gold.
Well, that's the thing is like I have you know what a Casio watch is, right? Like those old. It's gold. If I have that on and these rings on, and then I'm gonna look like I'm going to be going to Little Italy to get some cannolis, then take someone to the river, shoot him, grab the cannolis, and go home. You know, like
You're gonna look like you're gonna be hanging out with Adam Richman from Man vs. Food.
oh.
He's a cool dude. If I ever met him, I don't ever. He projects as a cool.
He
dude.
went to LNP, the pizzeria I used to go to when I was
Yeah,
a kid.
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
where you get the original grandma slices.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, oh boy.
I saw that episode.
It's just like, you know, I mean, I'm Italian.
I need to find a way to get him on.
I mean, listen, a lot of these people, they just are.
He's right here in Brooklyn. Bro.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of, there's a lot of great. We can get Moby too.
The DJ?
He lives right here. I sat next to him at a restaurant. I leaned over. I was like, so how's Natalie Portman?
You're an asshole. You're a fucking asshole. but we should at least reach out to Alan Richmond. Anyway, that's not Alan Richmond.
No,
shit.
are you talking about Man versus Food?
Yeah, I
Is that
said
his
Alan
name?
Richmond. It's not Alan Richmond. Alan Richmond is a fucking actor.
Yeah.
Wow. My bad.
Hey Siri, who's the guy that is on Man vs. Food?
Was on Man vs.
The original host of Man v. Food was Adam Richmond.
Adam Richmond.
I did say Adam Richmond. I said Alan.
Yeah, you just,
Alan.
it was
I
like,
did
you
say
know,
Adam.
Allen, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
Answer is from Wikipedia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So polite.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to put a button in it. I think we're gonna get Adam Richmond on the show.
I think we should put the button in it before that. So why don't we do this? Why don't we say the sign off, and then you can cut it wherever you want to cut it.
Oh, you don't want to keep the whole thing?
There's some stuff. There's some. You know what? Surprise me.
I just might do this whole thing. I might even include this.
All right, cool. Anyway, I'm filling me homeboy.
I am Ryan, your hipster.
Drinks up.
Drinks up. I'll see you in the next one with Patrick, hopefully.